Fitness coaches have a hard time scaling in 2026. That's why today Rudy came presenting several problems that prevent him from growing his fitness offer quickly. Me, my COO and CMO, took a day out to solve all his problems for him to become the #1 fitness coach dominating his industry. Rudy, I'm excited you're here. Let's go into it.
So I'm at a place right now in my business that I've been operating since October 2023 where I've already done a lot of refinements, mentors, systems, adaptations. But right now I'm at a place where I'm bottlenecked with a lot of times, systems to be able to scale me from 20K months, 25, 30K months to the next level, which is 40, 50, and be able to sustain that level, not just hit big peaks and then the consistency dies and then I'm back to square one. So right now I've built systems, but I know we're just getting started. So for the past 6 months especially, I've serviced 19 clients in that time frame and I've already got 10 to 12 active clients right now. My problem right now is that I'm doing well in terms of revenue for someone with my following, especially in Australia, because Australia is like a sort of demographic that's a little bit hesitant in terms of coaching, in terms of doing high ticket sales. It's not like America or Europe that's already gotten used to that exposure and that level of coaching online. I'm doing 10 to 14K weeks, buying consistently. And a lot of that comes down to content, not getting qualified leads. And I know if I have all the other systems set in place, such as organic content, being able to keep that consistent. I've got a VSL that I've done previously with another mentor, but that's already very outdated. It's sitting on my bio. You might be able to see on my page, but it's very outdated and it's not at the level of the coach that I am right now. Paid traffic. So the traffic right now that I've got is just Instagram boost reels, which don't really have that retargeting sketch to it. So right now I'm doing a lot of organic stuff, but I know to get to that next level and be able to scale your brand and have a big virality in terms of omnipresence. Another thing right now is testimonials. So I've got a lot of happy clients right now, but in terms of being able to get consistent testimonials out of them. Like a lot of guys don't want to sit there on camera and do a testimonial. So maybe it's better to jump on a call, maybe after the program is done and just ask them normal questions. That way it feels natural, but I don't really have that system or that structure set in place right now to be able to get consistent testimonials in the market to help with my.
Specifically with testimonials is one of the main components that we've seen a lot of struggles with as well, on how to express testimonials to gain the credibility that we need to become the biggest one. When you have clients that let's say you spend time with in person or do other things, when we structure the right testimonial, whether it's indirect or direct, we'll crush all the other guys that just have these 5-minute video testimonials.
Definitely. As well as the backend. So right now I'm working with a ChatGPT to build out AI automations. Right now, AI is massive. I'm sure you're at the front of everything, right? With ChatGPT, with automations. And I know where the industry can go in 5 years' time. So help. My SCP, I work with mainly Aussies. The longer I work in the space, the more I realize a lot of traders are coming to me. So construction workers, all Aussies. So the Aussie market's very, very different because Aussies are just like different creatures, right? They drink on the weekends, they have big slang. So what I've noticed, I've had a lot of men coming to me, but I've been drinking or haven't been drinking, but they want to get the body, the mindset. They've either been broken out of relationships because I post a lot of relationship content due to my own background, pain points. 12-hour days, no structure with eating, nutrition, drinking a lot on the weekend because that's the normal for construction workers. Poor habits, poor relationships because they put no time to their partner. And how I help them. So I've actually built my own special Notion dashboard where I've got the whole onboarding automated. I've already got walkthrough videos and the next steps are able to do that way. That's already frees a lot of my time as opposed to asking them information. They fill all the information out, and then once I have that information out, I'll build the whole 3 or 6 month program based on the information they've given me where I walk through them the whole thing. And then whenever we need to make changes, we make changes as we get going. My problem right now is being able to deliver that same high standard across every week as we get going, because I get more clients coming in, more sales calls, and being able to keep that high standard we set during the onboarding call to be able to keep that through the whole 6 months program. The transformation, I do one-on-one coaching calls with the boys every time they've hit certain targets through the whole milestones. I don't just jump on weekly calls anymore because I feel like whenever I did that, that made the boys not put in the effort to actually make it happen. They're like, I'm just going to jump on a call with Rudy every Saturday. I don't have to try. Now you get rewarded through action-based input, and that actually helps clients get better results.
I think that's great a lot. That's nice.
Notion portal, and eventually how I want to build my business is be able to build my own app through Notion, through my training platform, which is Everfit, which is similar to Trainerize, which is a training platform, and have that concise. It may be like a school module coaching academy that I'm trying to build right now, which eventually will build my entry-level $1,000 program to my one-on-one mentorship, which the rates are going to increase and increase. A weekly group calls with all the boys covering in-depth presentations about gut health, about sodium, water targets, and what it really means to be an elite level athlete across every area of your life.
Are you currently mainly focused on organic, or is it
ads as well?
Right now it's all organic. I've tried to build ads. I try to set up 3 top of funnel ads. It was recent profile visitors. It was an engagement from a video, the people that engage with that video, as well as a lookalike audience to that video. So I set that up, but the ads run horribly compared to the initial Instagram meta IG boost that I run. So because the ads run horrible, I stopped them.
Obviously.
And then I kept going with meta ads for now while I figure out what the fuck to do with that. So right now the pricing is 2,500 Aussie for 3 months or 4,000 for 6 months. So I've given the incentive to go for the 6 months as a way to commit for that extra time frame. And I've given a discount on that. So most of the guys do go for the 6 months. And that's 4K painful for most of the guys because the construction boys have the money. As I build out my course, which is my coaching academy, and which will be $997, where it's like, look, $997, you get all these for free, lifetime calls, etc. And eventually when you feel like it's the right time, then we can step it up to my one-on-one, which might be 5K, 6K by then as I start to build, expand, and build all the automations in place for my business.
So I would say, I think we can work on increasing that as well. I don't think under 2,000 is a lot of money here for Australia.
100%. Organic content. I do walk and talk structured information reels, which I script, and I do line by line as I'm walking and showing information, usually with a CTA. YouTube videos. So right now I want to be able to delegate a lot of my scripting, my research and all that, which I'm building an AI automation as we speak to be able to put an Instagram profile, either a fitness guy or a personal brand, and be able to get the sort of like storytelling aspects with my branding and my emotional stuff and build a whole month worth of content I can film in a day.
Because obviously you're spending hours and hours and hours right now in making your own content and structure it yourself. It should just be a flowing process of walk the talk instead of actually scripting it out and make it the whole process, because that costs time.
Yeah. And right now, YouTube, I'm not as consistent on YouTube as I'd like to be because I'm focusing more on like my Instagram content right now. I haven't posted in like 4 days. That's the longest I've gone without posting. I don't even have any content to post up until now, which I'm in Dubai, which I'll have a lot of stuff to post. Paid ads, build that whole ecosystem funnel, and the ongoing monthly recurring model, which every client that finishes either the 3 month or the 6 month, they can stay locked in for $300 a month. That way they get ongoing support, the training, as well as the weekly group call.
Very clear. So obviously you get clients through this mechanism so far, which is something we definitely need to work on. Now my question is, why are you different compared to other fitness coaches?
I'm the Aussie that's going global and is going to go to America full time now. But I've got a lot of connections, especially in Miami, that I know will help bring me up because there's no other Aussies at the level and doing what I'm doing right now, especially tatted up Aussies as well, you know?
Although you're gonna go to the US
Yeah.
and make content now, you're still gonna focus specifically on Aussies?
That's what I'm thinking right now too, because that's tricky as well. Because now that I've got these, obviously my ICP is so clean now, and now I've started doing all my videos. It's more talking about the boys going to the pub, how Aussies speak. But now I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm gonna go to America and go to America now, am I gonna have to switch up on messaging, or is I gonna be able to dilute from being able to be very hard on one specific avatar? 23K month. 25K month was the best month I've done back in August. I know I've had 14K weeks, 9, 12, 10K weeks. It's about being able to get that consistently.
Talk about month to month. How many leads do you think that you're getting? And is it consistent?
We're talking about, I would say even that, I would talk about an interested lead. So it obviously goes in stages, right? We have a lead, then you have an interested lead, and then we have a book call.
Okay.
These 3 stages.
Like let's say that month, for instance, August. 1, 2, 3, 4,
7 sales.
pretty much 7. So that would be, let's say 8, right? So that's 2 a week right there. But that's not consistent either.
And would you say tracking is a problem for you, or it's something that you're just not doing it?
Just not really doing right now. Correct. Yeah.
Around, you don't have a lot of sales calls, so I don't think you have a system where you track everything in regards to close rate, show up rate, cancel.
No, definitely, that would definitely help, I believe, to be able to figure out if what my issue is, a sales call, the show up, all that. Right now, no system with that.
All right, so there are a couple things that we need to work on. The first one is ICP, who we are targeting. We've helped a lot of fitness coaches, and we need to make sure that when you leave, you have full clarity on exactly what the next steps are for you as a fitness coach to dominate and become an industry leader. Second step is AI/personal. How do we find the right balance between these 2 segments? Our personal component is what makes us valuable in a personal brand. So how can we utilize that component in comparison with this to create the leverage we need while still becoming the figure that people look up to and obviously the reason why people pay us? 3 is I want to talk about front versus the backend, the positioning of this. And the last thing that I want to talk about, leverage/SOPs. ICP, first of all, we talked about this topic together, right? Like the most important thing you want to understand is how can you separate yourself compared to all the other fitness coaches, technically solve the exact same problem. Let's say you're young, you're a teenager, you're going through a breakup. One of the most valuable lines could be, you're a teenager right now, in your ad, right? Or in your content. You're a teenager, you're going through a breakup. This is the moment you need to become the man of your dreams. You see what I mean? Imagine how deep that will speak to the pain points of that ICP, or for construction workers. What are their relatable points? What are their pain points? What are their situational awareness? What is that looking like? When we figure that out, I feel like we're gonna be able to claim massive clarity on exactly what our ICP is and how we can get clarity on specifically that.
So what would you say it is?
So right now it would be blokes, Australian Aussie men, anywhere between 21, 22, all the way to probably 40 years old, that are working in construction or have worked in construction prior. The long days, a lot of mental stress that are going on in the industry.
Back pain,
Yeah,
posture
back pain, that's true.
issues.
Yeah.
Talking
Go.
about the transformation, meaning the outcome, is the most important thing.
Okay.
If I keep saying, oh my gosh, you're going to get into this program and you're going to be able to track your calories well, you're not going to miss the gym, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
To be honest, the majority of people don't care. And they think, oh my God, this is so much work for me. I don't really know if I want to do this. It's going to cost me money. Versus if you say, hey, you are overworked, you're not happy, you live for the weekends, you're overweight, you can't get a girlfriend, you went through a breakup, all these different pain points, and then show the outcome, right? You're going to become a better man on the other side is what you need to be focusing on 100% in your content.
To even add on that, you have what you said is correct. When you have such a clear ICP and you didn't even talk about the markets, which means that whenever you move to the US, you can still tap into the US market without losing the Aussies.
So I'm talking about the outcome, not the actual.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that moment's only the relatability comes into play with you as a person, right? You attract who you are and you attract people similar to your own values. You're doing that because you're speaking to the outcome and not the exact avatar of a person, of profile.
Makes sense.
With the people that we work with, the more successful you are, generally, the more focused you are with your niche. Okay?
Because you're not separating yourself from being a fitness coach. You're separating yourself from the solution that you can provide to these people and the way you market this solution, right? Because you probably do the same as a lot of other people do. Fitness market is such a huge market. There's so many people in that market. How can you bring your message across so people choose Rudy and not all the other fuckers around there?
Makes sense.
AI/personal. Now, we can utilize this in two separate ways, right? This is what we've done for a lot of our fitness clients as well. They implement things like AI scriptwriter, AI fulfillment. So meaning you have a literal AI that helps people fulfill their problems and questions and things like that. And I'll show you exactly how I would structure the front and back end with these AI systems in a bit, and an AI setter. Fitness is a massive opportunity. It's a big market. You should systematize the conversion process. We need to make sure that we have one clear AI in place that can optimize all these components so you don't need to even look at it. And it will give you an end of the day report every single day. We have the front end of the company, and on the other side, we have the back end of the company. The most important thing that we need to understand, for you to become profitable as a fitness coach, create the most amount of leverage, and scale to $100,000 to $200,000 a month, you need to do one thing. You need to make sure that you maintain personal levels in your front end, and you need to systematize the back end. Now, the most important thing that needs to happen here is, imagine this, right? You sign me as a client, and we'll get together. You know, we'll do a gym session together, right? In person, stuff like that. How many gym sessions can you do a day? With other people?
It's 10 max. That's 10 hours already. Yeah.
10 hours already, and then you get back, you're exhausted. You're fucking, what are you doing? Like, you're super exhausted. You've provided the same information probably over and over again to the same person because we are clear to our ICP, we will attract similar people that need a similar outcome, meaning you're fucking overworking yourself. Just like these construction workers do that we want to attract.
Yeah.
The only way to scale as a fitness coach in 2026 is the ability to put systems in place that create scalable opportunities in the back end. You don't want to be involved in the majority of the work yourself while creating these opportunities. Now, let's reflect this on the back end, because the best solutions are generated when the back end reflects on the front end. When your back end is synchronized with the front end, you'll generate the best back end results.
Makes sense.
Right? So as an example, let's say, right? Imagine you're providing this in the back end. But in the front end, you say, oh, the only thing I do, guys, I do one-on-one. It's the only thing I do. And then they'll pay you 4,000 AUD and they'll get video material, masterminds, and group coaching.
Yeah.
It's not about the fact that people need one-on-one. They don't care about that. The only thing that they're looking for is they're looking to get to their outcome.
Yeah.
Imagine you do a mastermind, in-person mastermind. You do one mastermind, 50 people to this in-person mastermind, and you record your presentation that you give there. 30 people at the same time, eating healthy, men, women, doing cold plunge, having an amazing time together. Like I would go to that if I kind of knew the people and if I would relate with these people. And imagine you get one content guy that films that. This is exactly what brings you the insane status that you need.
And besides credibility, it creates a brotherhood that your ICP wants to be part of.
And we know that you care about that too. It was very apparent during this whole thing, right? Like you want to actually help people. There's a lot of people that just say, okay, I want money in my bank account. You actually genuinely want to help people. And people will see that in the content that you make and also in these kind of group, communities that you can create.
Like I said, I want to be able to systemize a lot of the day-to-day things in my business. I can go and train with a main, film it, and then again create more leverage and more testimonials and more content to bring in the ICP as well.
Exactly. That's perfectly described. And as said here, the backend is systematized. The front end is not systematized, but it relates perfectly with the backend deliverables. This is a very clear roadmap on how we can utilize and systematize this. As an example, when you do the mastermind, right, what we can do is you can create short form content from this. That is 10 pieces of short form content. Why would you sit down every single day and writing out, okay, cool, I'm a fitness coach. I help people lose. We're never gonna get any. Leverage plus SOPs. So you have to understand that within our company, we manage loads of clients that are doing $20,000 a month and $100,000 a month. Clients. If we don't have clear SOPs in place, or we don't have leverage with automations or delegation with our team members, we will never be able to manage as many clients, deliver them sustainable results. Okay. Because there are two problems that's being created when volume increases. The results will lack, or the second one, you'll scale it up and the results will maintain the same, but you cannot sustain it in terms of time or scalability.
Makes sense.
So it's the decision that you make in that sense. Now, what do SOPs do? SOPs are not sitting down for 30 minutes creating a framework on a process. An SOP is recording a moment, capturing a moment of something existing that already happens. As an example, let's say you're on a client call. You can capture these call recordings to make sure that you can stack these in a list for people to watch afterwards.
Yeah, true.
You can hop on a setter call, and instead of helping the setter provide them a lot of assets or specific things, why don't you give them a training on how they should improve, record that training, and guess what? I'm Rudy, or you said, you're Rudy, like I have a setter right now, and the setter says, you know what, Rudy, like to be very honest with you, I'm done with this. I want to leave.
Yeah.
Guess what? What's going to spin in your mind right now is like,
so much
okay,
time.
I need to find another setter. I've spent so much time on this setter.
Yeah.
I need to be able to track, again, a new opportunity for the new setter. And guess what? When you have SOPs in place, you're like, okay, no worries. You know what? Your last paycheck is here. When we onboard the new setter, the first thing I want you to do is go through the SOPs.
And those are videos, training
These are
modules.
videos. This is
everything.
all the training modules of how you train that other setter. When you do this once, you never have to worry about it ever again.
Makes sense.
We're talking about hiring right now. We have SOPs for the fulfillment. We have SOPs for how to create ads. The things that I'm explaining you right now is what we have SOPs about.
Yeah.
Only thing that allows you to scale is not the ability to save time. The best thing about building SOPs and systematizing your company is you saving time, you creating mental space. Yeah. That's the most important thing, because when you can think and when you have the ability to think and when you have time, your brain starts to work again.
Creative, for sure, creativity.
You're very creative at that point. And at that point, you think about new ideas. And the only thing that you want to do is you just want to be yourself. You want to do these amazing mastermind days. And you want to help people actually become the person that they want to become while helping them make a transformation.
I believe that the companies that are going to be the most successful and people that are going to be the most successful are the ones that are training their GPTs the best. We have so many custom GPTs that are set up on the back end for a bunch of different things, okay? One example is a fulfillment chatbot. We've essentially uploaded every single thing that he's done over the past 3 years, okay? From story sequences to his YouTube videos to scripts, all of these different things. We give these to clients and they're able to leverage that. We don't have to do some of that fulfillment work. The same thing on the back end, right? With SOPs and all these different things. You can take this SOP, take a transcript, put it into a GPT, and then when anybody on the back end has questions, they ask this before they come to you. These save you so much time, so you have to be using it. We have 3 ideas for AI that we can use for you. First one, obviously, is just the fulfillment one. Another one is also an AI setter, as we mentioned earlier.
The reason why this is extremely important is because we want to create scalability in the back end. We want to be able to serve the biggest purpose. You have to imagine that when we help 1,000 young men that are depressed, that just got out of their breakup, you get so much more relatability in the market, and you'll do a next generational run on becoming the person that has helped these people transform their lives.
I like how you said generational run, because a lot of people I'm going to be helping or you're going to be helping are still only like 10, 12 years old, and they've got to go through those life
Exactly.
events and
Exactly.
shift into that avatar.
And that's the beauty. When we build that credibility in the upcoming 3 to 5 years, guess what? These 15-year-olds, they're 18, they're 23. Who are they going to choose? They're going to work with the biggest person in the market.
Exactly.
And that's you.
When you say AI fulfillment, you're talking about just having a prompt that helps you use previous scenario with an onboarding, or actually being able to automate that fully so it does the whole system for you.
As Aaron said, one great example is a GPT. Having the ability to structure the backend in a way where if clients have questions, they have the opportunity to ask it to a GPT without them even knowing, or with them knowing. People don't care about how to get to the outcome. They care about getting there.
That's true.
If I invited you here today, right? We'll sit like this, do it like this, whatever. Or we just would have talked instead of a podcast situation, whatever. The only thing you want when you leave here in an hour
Clarity.
is fucking clarity.
Yeah.
When you have clarity, you have the outcome that you wanted. Meaning AI fulfillment relates with the GPT specifically.
You could have one for, specifically for meal tracking. You could have one specifically for workout plans, like all of these different things. Or you could make one big one. Generally, we like to make them different, right? Because you can train them a little bit better on those specific tasks, and then deploy these to essentially train them and then deploy it to your clients.
So the most important thing here is you can relate with the situation of having and utilizing these components yourself. But what you can also do, reallocate and sell them towards clients, or let clients use them personally on a personal
package and be able to
which is part of the
up
frame,
and
which then leverages your front end, leverages to increase your prices.
Yeah.
Imagine you can utilize that. I make a custom workout game plan within minutes, right?
100%. And use this as a lead magnet too.
Yeah, true.
Right? Imagine that.
AI Setter, the things that it can automate: conversational flow, Calendly link sent, follow-up sequences. But it can also do things like voice notes, automated text,
Can you do outbound or not yet?
outbound.
Oh, okay, well.
Obviously. And these are things that we can utilize within our conversion process to get more people towards the solution that we have. You can market your masterminds on your stories and on your whole brand. Imagine your brand becomes that powerful source that people look at to go from masterminds, to go to buy coaching, to go to do, just because you are that figure that people look up to. And the last part is tracking.
Which is the most important part in my eyes. It really is.
Recording, yeah.
The goal of any business, you spend $1 and you get $3 back, or even $2 back, right? And then this is what it really allows you to do. Just get more clarity on your return on investment, on your ad dollars.
To even add on that, you mentioned that 1 week you make 14K and then other weeks there's maybe nothing.
Maybe nothing, yeah.
If we track, we can know what you did that specific week and replicate that for the other weeks as well.
Yeah.
To make it so much more profitable. As an example, you spend, let's say, $5,000 on ads. Normally what would happen, let's say 25,000 profile visits. This could result into an opportunity of getting anywhere between 2.5K up to $3,000 qualified followers. When we have these followers coming in, that's amazing. Not everybody will be qualified. It's impossible. We pay for followers, and not every follower that will come in will be qualified, right? But because your brand is so amazing, because the first slide that they see is you having a mastermind with 30 people that relate with their exact ICP, your profile specifically, it relates to them, right? Let's say 1.5 is qualified. We have the automated AI setter reaching out to them specifically. Let's say we have 1,001K conversations coming out of this. We can relate this with a new opportunity of having the ability to get these 1K people into the conversational flow. You have 100 conversations or 100 appointments scheduled, right? And these 100 appointments could then be closed or not closed. But when they don't close, what's going to happen is they're going to go back into the top of the funnel. So we throw them back in here. So whenever they're back in here, they go through the same process.
Makes sense.
What happens with us every single time a customer views our stuff and has a sales call with Herman, then if they don't close, no worries. Go back in the funnel, watch more of my content, watch more of my
You don't
testimonies.
try to rush after them and lose your authority either. You don't need to. The system does it all for you, right?
Exactly.
And if they don't close, track what the common objection is. So you know what you're going to utilize in your next content.
Makes sense.
And what sets the profile funnel apart from these other ones, in my opinion, number one, how warm of an audience actually converts. They get sent in, whether it's through an ad, whether they see a reel.
They've never seen you before.
Exactly. They've never seen you before. And a lot of Nik's clients talk about kind of this process because we ask them, and you should be asking your clients this as well. This is something that everybody should be doing. And I don't think a lot of people are. You need to be figuring out exactly what your first touch point was and what the piece of content was that actually made somebody convert.
We have an ecosystem running, but guess what? Like when I onboard new clients, we'll send them an onboarding form. So as an example, right? The first question, personal information. Second question we ask is, why did you choose me? Why me above anybody else? First touch point, what source did they came in from? Is this organic? is this: ads, any sort of form of testimonial. I personally like to ask the question, how converted were you before the sales call?
Yeah, makes sense.
I would even add a fifth one, which helped us a lot, which is the question, what would have made you convert quicker? That's an important question, which I think helped us and our clients to know what to add.
1,000%. It's like, what if you have a clear onboarding form where you ask such questions? You know exactly what to change in the marketing to become so much more
To
profitable.
bring that time gaps quicker and smaller.
Exactly.
Exactly.
From
You
the
make
first touch point
you
to
make
the
the
close.
conversion cycle
Yeah.
so extremely short.
And besides that, think about this. If a lot of people say the same thing, you lost me at setting, they still converted. But think about other people that you didn't convert, which had the same thing.
You need to 10x your output. You have to think about, okay, what is bringing them in and what is converting them? Just focus on that. Really, right? Focus on the reels that are working well. Focus on the stories that are converting them. Double down on that.
But what I noticed with you, you do your very sequence stories where you're pretty much talking to the avatar without needing to talk on camera, which is very interesting too.
And guess what? That's a form of systematization.
I could leverage into my...
You could leverage that into new opportunities while it still feels super authentic.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I learned from spending over $6 million in ads for our clients, I think we all do, while we follow this process, is always double down on what works.
Yeah.
Why would you create something new when something works? And when we build this foundation and we see it works, as Aaron said, 10x the volume.
You think you have some clarity?
A lot of clarity. So pretty much everything I've shared about the direction with AIs and building this infrastructure and all the backend automation to help more focus on the front end and have, now that I picked up, have both of them leveraging each other and being one whole ecosystem is kind of the direction that I should be going for now to get more consistent.
1,000%.
Yeah.
The main thing that you should do is you should focus on creating big movements with focusing on the highest leverage activities, seeing where you could outsource things. So as an example, hire the AI scriptwriter to be able to have the ability to get that shit done.
Like right now was like my next step before Miami because I was meant to fly out end of the year and I was going to pay, I don't know if you follow her, she's big in the space, she's like a content marketer on like a 4 or 5K retainer monthly and just she can do all my scripting for me. But in the meantime, I'm like, hey, I didn't realize how good ChatGPT is and it can scrape the videos and ideas and do all that for me. But then I still got to edit them. That's kind of what I meant before about being stuck between, do I go with that person that's going to cost me money or just solely say, screw that, focus on the AI?
You know what it is? One thing, you need to find somebody that you will pay money that can help you solve multiple problems.
Okay.
The biggest thing right now that you struggle with is multiple things to become that industry leader.
Makes sense.
You are struggling with an ad problem, you're struggling with a content problem, you're struggling. Somebody that knows everything about content is not going to solve your problem because he doesn't know how to give you top of the funnel traffic.
Yeah.
So you need somebody that can help you solve multiple problems at the same time.
It's a very good point. And I think that there's so many people that try to start and grow a coaching business like a solopreneur. And then at the end of the day, all that they have is they're like have a glorified job, essentially, right? They're not building a company. In hiring an A player that has kind of congruent skills to you, meaning you're focused mainly on the content and all these different things, and somebody else can come in that knows all of those other skills, it's going to be very, very valuable for you. But I will say that start with these kind of other AI tools. It's obviously a lot more lean.
Yeah.
Focus on the acquisition first, and then when everything becomes too much to handle, then that's when you go hire an A player.
Yeah, such
Correct?
as you guys obviously, right? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, you need to find someone that gives you clarity on what you need to do so you can execute.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point when we train, like let's say we work together on this, right?
Yeah.
At a certain point when we're at a preferable level of scale,
And
we can say
from like 40K, stuck at
exactly.
40K.
Like it's very simple, right? We start to work together on building the SOPs, the leverage, creating the trainings, building the backend, building the content foundation.
Yeah.
And when that works and we see proven concept, we're gonna get to a point where we say, you know what? Right now it's time to hire a closer.
You basically want to be in a position that whenever you spend time on making content or you spend money on ads, there's only two outcomes. You either make the money that you're looking for, or you're getting the data that allows you to know what you have to iterate and change to make the money you're looking for. And that starts with clarity, that starts with making an audit, doing a plan, getting the systems and processes, and then getting the team, and then building the leverage out.
Oh, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Done. Cool.